Hi and welcome to another Making Comics video. Today I'm going to be talking about finishing things up by coloring it and then adding some finishing touches. Hi, my name is Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist from the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 25 years now, and I'm here to empower you. Today is just adding the final look to everything. So that means I got to finish coloring it and then adding any kind of finishing touches, fixing lettering, any of that kind of thing, putting in the textures, stuff like that. So this went pretty much straightforward. I did do a few extra things, adding blur effects and things like that, and I'm going to talk about that as you will see. It was a new thing, and in the video I'm going to talk about why I decided to add blurs and things like that. But okay, so let's get started. Once again, starting where I left off last time, I just started with selecting a character, and I started just putting in a flat, just a real quick flat color, and then as you can see, I have three colors on my color chart for each character. And so I picked the darkest color, and then I, with the brush, with the airbrush tool, I spray the lightest color and create a gradient throughout. Doing the background here, you could see that I added a texture in the background, just so that it feels a little bit more watercolory. That was my intent. And then I'm adding textures here for this giant pedestal or pillar, and adding some marble texture. And notice how busy that looks, which is one of the reasons why I kept on experimenting with blurring, so that all that busy doesn't get in the way. One of the problems that I was running into was that she's wearing blue. She's kind of all in blue, and then the background is in the shadows are all blue. So she seemed to be getting lost in there, and so everything just wasn't quite what I wanted. I'm not 100% sure I was successful in making her pop, but I did end up blurring a lot of this stuff. And here I'm adding her little skull texture for her pajamas, and adding gradients and things like that on her as well. So that's the gist of my coloring process, is not to have a single color on everything. What I mean is like the shirts or the skin or whatever. It's not just one color. It's a gradient. In life, objects don't have a single color. They have a gradient. And here I'm adding the floor textures, going with the perspective that I had already worked out before, and then masking off all the rest of it so that it feels like the ground. All these assets that I'm using, I brought in, I had already created, so that anytime that I need, for example, the tiles or this giant round thing symbol that I put on the floor, I could just grab it and drag it in, and then just adjust it. As you saw, free transform tool, just kind of adjust it there. And making sure that Kelsey didn't have any tangents. The background here. Okay, so this was kind of important. I was going to separate the far background from the middle ground, which is this kind of veranda bit. So that means that I had to make absolutely sure that this veranda had a really clear, clean selection, so it didn't look really odd and bizarre. And so it took a while to just get all these little bits just perfectly selected and adjusted, even in the coloring stage. And the reason it was important to create a really good selection of the veranda is because, like I said, I was gonna blur the entire background, and you're gonna see it later when I do. As of right now. Oh, and then see, here's this rim light is on the left hand side here, on our left. See, the problem is that if you look at the actual pillars, they actually do have a rim light created by the computer, and it's on the right. So I hadn't realized that until later. So I eventually make an adjustment to the rim lights on all the characters so that they all fit, because it doesn't make any sense for the rim light on the characters to be coming from the left, and then the rim light on the background being on the right. So I had to be consistent there. I added some marble textures for the walls. I added some marble textures for the little veranda there, and watercolor effects and paper for texture paper for the whole thing. It's one of the things that I almost always seem to forget, is to add the paper. And here I am finally creating the blur. You could see me blurring the background here. And I'm going to be using this background for the next couple of panels. And as you will see that it actually does help bring the characters out a little bit. And from the background, it helps them pop. And I didn't put the blur on the veranda. That was the reason why I created such a careful selection. I wanted to keep the veranda because it's on basically the same plane or the same area as the characters, and the characters look crisp. So I wanted that veranda to look crisp. But the far background, I blurred it, even though I spent so much time adding lighting on that statue and all that stuff. I knew the whole time, and even on the pillar and the pedestal that it was going to be in, I knew the entire time that I was going to blur that background in spite of that, because I just needed to make sure that that it didn't look, even blurred, it still looked like it should have been something, right? It would have, if I did a lousy job, it still would have looked messed up. And here I am fixing that rim light. So I fixed that rim light. I went, oh crud, the rim light's on the wrong side, and this is where I figured it out. So I had to go into every other panels and add the rim light and the achu. Here's this now finishing up the effects on this text, and I kind of forgot how to create the effect, and so I had to go in and on camera you saw me kind of refix the effect. But that's it. That's the whole process from start to finish. I started it, and here's the final drawings. Thanks a lot. I hope this has been helpful, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye.